Good morning, and thank you for joining us. We'll just wait a couple more minutes for the other registrants to jump on. Okay, let's get started. Again, good morning and welcome to 2025, even though we're already in February, but also our first webinar for you for the year. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to join the webinar that we are presenting for you, which is Navigating Workplace Relations in 2025, What's Ahead and How to Prepare for Your Business. What a perfect webinar to start the year. Before starting, we are letting you know this webinar is live. If you can look towards the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to see a QA feature, which you can leave your questions, and we'll do our best to go through them all towards the end. We're also sending the presentation recording if you can't stick around to the end, and you can also share it to the wider management team if you wish. At the end of the session as well, we are leaving a short feedback survey and how we did and what topics, more importantly, you would like to hear for 2025. Your presenters on the right, that's me. My name is Perry Jagden, and I'm the Customer Success Manager here for Citation HR. And joining me today to discuss the topic of navigating workplace relations in 2025 is our trusted workplace relations consultant, Amelia Attard. Thanks for joining us, Amelia.
Hi, thank you.
Now, for over a year, for our clients that have been with us for a while, we are hoping now that you are quite familiar with the Citation family and what we offer. And for our new clients, more importantly, welcome to the family. As we are growing, we want to make sure that you do grow with us as well. Look, just a very quick recap. The services that we do provide outside the HR is work health and safety, which recently we've now included psychosocial hazards and EAP services, workplace law, migration services, and also ISO and NDIS certification. Now, let's get stuck into the webinar and the main reason why you're all here today. I'll stop talking now and I'll pass it over to Amelia, who will be talking through the agenda and the content over the session. So over to you, Amelia.
Thanks for that great introduction, Perry. I really appreciate it there. Look, I want to take a moment to welcome you all to today's webinar on navigating workplace relations in 2025. As the workplace continues to evolve, so too do the legal and regulatory frameworks that businesses need to operate within. From casual conversion laws to the right to disconnect and the criminalisation of wage theft, 2025 will bring a host of changes that will impact how you manage your people and your business. Today, we're going to discuss what these changes mean for your business, the trends we're seeing in employment relations, and some practical advice on how to prepare for what's ahead. Let's start with discussing some of the recent and upcoming changes to workplace law in 2025. Firstly, we'll start with the changes to casual conversion. So I'll just get you to change the slide. Sorry, Perry. Thank you. This change was implemented on the 26th of August, 2024 and will continue to evolve in 2025. The changes to casual conversion correlate with the introduction of the new definition of casual employment, also introduced on 26th of August, 2024. A person engaged from 26 August 2024 will be considered a casual employee if the employment relationship has no firm advance commitment to ongoing work, taking into account a number of factors, and they're entitled to a casual loading or specific casual pay rate under an award, registered agreement, or employment contract. A casual employee can change to permanent employment, whether that's full time or part time, at any time if their employer and employee agree. Casual employees engaged prior to the 26th of August 2024 will continue to be subject to the casual conversion provisions until 26th of February 2025. Therefore, if an existing casual employee reaches their 12-month engagement during this 6-month period, they will be entitled to casual conversion. Large business employers, those with more than 15 employees, will be obligated to offer a casual employee who's been working regular and systematic hours for at least 6 months a permanent role, unless there are reasonable business grounds not to do so. For small business employers, those with less than 15 employees, there is no obligation to offer permanent employment. Rather, a casual employee can request permanent employment if they've been working regular and systematic hours for at least 6 months. The business can only deny this request on the basis of reasonable business grounds. For both business types, when assessing reasonable grounds for refusal, we advise you consult with a telephone advisory line who can aid in each particular circumstance. Alternatively, casual employees engaged from 26 August 2024 will now have access to a pathway to permanent employment under the National Employment Standards. This is referred to as the Employee Choice Pathway. A casual employee has access to this pathway if they've been employed for at least 6 months for large business employers or 12 months for small business employers, and the employee believes they no longer meet the requirements of the new casual employee definition, as we defined earlier. Eligible casual employees can notify their employer in writing of their intention to change to permanent employment, and an employer can only refuse the notice for certain reasons. For businesses, it's crucial to review your casual workforce, understand who's eligible for conversion, and adjust your contracts and HR practices accordingly. Please reach out to the telephone advisory line who can provide assistance with these processes. The next change occurring in 2025 includes new definitions and minimum pay rates for entry level classifications within relevant modern awards. As part of its review of the C14 and C13 rates in modern awards, the Fair Work Commission has made the following changes, including introductory classifications that can only apply for a limited time, and new rules and minimum pay that apply for introductory rates. The changes apply from 1 January 2025 for most awards and 1 April 2025 for the Horticulture Award and Pastoral Award. Some awards currently contain pay rates that are less than the national minimum wage. These are usually pay rates that apply to an introductory classification or entry level job. Introductory classifications are called different names in different awards, including C14, introductory, and sometimes level 1. These classifications typically only apply on a temporary basis. From 1 January or 1 April 2025, introductory classifications in affected awards can only apply for a limited time. Introductory classifications apply to the first stage of the job. This includes an initial induction period, time spent undertaking training, or enough time to gain basic skills and experience required for the job. All employment classifications that aren't introductory classifications must be paid at least the national minimum wage. The new maximum time limit for introductory level classifications varies between awards, but is never longer than 6 months. Some awards allow for employees to progress to the next classification before they've reached the maximum time limit for that introductory classification. This may be based on the employee demonstrating their competency or achieving a required classification, or qualification, I should say. Employees will generally move to a higher classification based on whichever happens first. This slide shows an example derived from the Fair Work Commission demonstrating progression from entry-level classifications in the Manufacturing Award. So, Sarah is a full-time employee that has just started work at a metal fabrication company. Sarah is covered by the Manufacturing Award. She comes to the role without any industry experience. Because she has no prior experience, Sarah is classified as a level C14, which is the entry level classification under the award. She is expected to perform basic tasks under supervision whilst undertaking training and gaining experience. During her induction, Sarah's manager, John, explains to her the process for progression to the next classification, called C13. John tells Sarah that she will progress to level C13 after 3 months or earlier if she can demonstrate the skills required for the job. Sarah continues with her training. She's a quick learner, and after 2 months, John determines that she's demonstrated all required skills for the job. Sarah progresses to a level C13 at this time and remains at this level in an ongoing capacity. Minimum pay rates for some employees under affected awards may go up on the first full pay period on or after 1 January 2025 or 1 April 2025 for employees under the Horticultural Award and Pastoral Award. This is because employees who have been employed at their award introductory level for more than the maximum period on 1 January or 1 April may move to the next classification. Any changes to an existing employee's classification or expected progression to another classification should be discussed with the employee before 1 January or 1 April 2025. If you think these changes affect you, we recommend you check if you're covered by an affected award, review the list of affected awards on the following slides and access an updated pay guide, access an updated version of the relevant award, and read the new classification rules. And ensure your payroll system is updated to reflect any new introductory classifications and pay rates that may apply to employees. You'll see on this slide a list of awards with new introductory level rules. I'll stop for a moment for you to consider if one of these awards is applicable to your business. I do note this webinar is being recorded today, so you're free to come back and review this slide again at a later stage. Amazing. You'll also see on this slide a list of awards with new introductory level rules and minimum pay rates. Again, I'm going to stop for a moment for you to see if one of these awards applies to you. Like I said, it's being recorded, so you're more than welcome to come back and look at this at a later stage. Some employers and employees may be covered by an enterprise agreement, not a modern award. If an employee is covered by an enterprise agreement and paid introductory rates, they will still be required to be paid in line with the new classification rate under the award that would otherwise apply to them. This change will apply from 1 January or 1 April 2025. The industry the enterprise agreement sits within will determine when the rule applies from. So for industries listed on the previous slides, except for the horticultural and pastoral awards, this will apply from 1 January 2025. And for the horticultural and pastoral industries, it'll apply from 1 April 2025. And employers should check their enterprise agreement and applicable award to ensure that any introductory rates meet at least the minimum base rates in their relevant award. Now, the right to disconnect is a new concept gaining traction globally, and it's set to continue evolving in Australia in 2025. So, what is the right to disconnect? Employees will have the right to refuse contact outside of their working hours unless the refusal is unreasonable. This means an employee can refuse to read, monitor, or respond to contact from an employer or a third party. The right also covers attempted contact outside of the employee's working hours. This change starts on the 26th of August 2024 for large business employers or the 26th of August 2025 for small business employers. When determining whether an employee's refusal is unreasonable, the following factors must be considered: the reason for the contact, how the contact is made and how disruptive it is to the employee, how much the employee is compensated or paid extra for being available to perform work during the period they're contacted, or working additional hours outside of their ordinary hours of work. The employee's role in the business and level of accountability or responsibility is taken into consideration, and the employee's personal circumstances, including family or caring responsibilities. Now, that list is not exhaustive, and other matters may also be considered. It's also unreasonable for an employee to refuse to read, monitor, or respond if the contact or attempted contact is required by law. Disputes about an employee's right to disconnect should be first discussed and resolved at a workplace level. If this is impossible, employees or employers can go to the Fair Work Commission to deal with a dispute. The Commission can make a stop order and/or deal with the dispute in other ways. The right to disconnect will also be a workplace right under general protections laws. These laws are protected rights all employees have under the Fair Work Act 2009. For businesses, this may mean implementing clear boundaries around after hours communication and revising workplace policies to ensure a healthy work-life balance for your team. Next, we're going to look at the criminalisation of wage theft in 2025. So from 1 January 2025, intentional underpayment of wages or entitlements can be a criminal offence. I want to make it firstly clear that this does not include honest mistakes. So an employer may commit a criminal offence where they were required to pay an amount to an employee, such as wages or paid leave entitlements, or on behalf of an employee or for their benefits, such as superannuation or a salary sacrifice arrangement. It needs to be or have intentionally, businesses need to have intentionally done something that intentionally results in those amounts not being paid on or before the date they were due. The offence only applies to intentional underpayments that happen after these provisions take effect. So what can the Commission do? The Fair Work Commission can investigate suspected criminal underpayment offences and refer suitable matters to the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions or the Australian Federal Police for consideration and possible criminal prosecution. Now, prosecution can result in monetary fines, prison time, or both. The Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions and the Australian Federal Police are the only bodies that can initiate legal proceedings for a criminal offence. So, what are some of the exceptions? These provisions don't apply to certain employees for superannuation contributions, payment for taking long service leave, payment for taking leave connected with being the victim of a crime, payment for taking jury duty leave, or for emergency service duties. An employer who has voluntarily told the Commission about their conduct that could be a criminal offence can seek to enter into a written cooperation agreement with the Commission. This stops the Commission from referring any conduct specified in that agreement for possible criminal prosecution. The Commission may still take other enforcement action, such as litigation. A voluntary small business wage compliance code has been established. A small business employer can't be referred for criminal prosecution by the Fair Work Commission if they've underpaid an employee and the Commission is satisfied that the employer has complied with the code. From 1 January 2025, the new laws increase the maximum penalty for a contravention related to an underpayment for a large business employer. The new laws will mean that this maximum penalty can, in certain circumstances, be the greater of 3 times the value of the underpayment, the relevant penalty unit amount for the contravention. Overall, to ensure compliance, businesses must conduct regular audits of their payroll systems, correct any discrepancies, and implement robust processes for ensuring all employees are paid correctly. We'll take some time now to briefly explore some of the employment relations trends for 2025. So, an increased employee focus on well-being. Mental health and well-being will continue to be a top priority for employees in 2025. It is expected businesses will start to offer more comprehensive wellness programs and flexible benefits to address stress and burnout. This may include providing employees access to employee assistance programs or allowing employees to perform work from home, thus reducing travel time. The digital transformation and automation. So, as more tasks become automated, Employees may need upskilling and reskilling to adapt to new roles or technologies. Businesses should focus on continued learning and upskilling their employees to remain up to date. Also, the rise of remote and hybrid work arrangements. So, remote work arrangements are expected to continue growing with more hybrid work models in place. Businesses should ensure that these models support productivity, work life balance, and collaboration. Diversity and inclusion initiatives. So, diversity and inclusion will be a central theme for many businesses. Businesses should actively work on ensuring diverse recruitment, fostering inclusive environments, and measuring progress towards these goals. Aside from the tips and advice that I've provided throughout this webinar today, as we've discussed the upcoming changes, I want to touch on some general and practical advice to kind of prepare for 2025 and what's ahead. So, we would advise reviewing and updating your policies. This ensures your employee policies, including those around casual conversion, flexible working arrangements, and communication after hours, are up to date with legislative changes. Invest in compliance tools. Continuing investing in HR software and automated systems that can track employee hours, pay rates, and leave entitlements to ensure compliance with wage theft laws. Make use of your services and reach out to the Citation HR advisory line to discuss any employment relations issues or just to seek general guidance. Train your workforce. Provide ongoing training for HR managers and employees on workplace rights and responsibilities, including new laws around wage theft, casual conversion, and remote working expectations. Prioritize employee engagement. Develop strong communication channels with employees and regularly survey them to ensure their needs are being met, especially when it comes to flexibility, work life balance, and career development. I'm going to hand back over to Perry now, who will provide a demo, and then we'll have an opportunity for some questions at the end.
Thanks for that, Amelia. Look, a lot of information to digest, and I'm sure there's a lot of you listening that do want to dig deep a bit further and find more information for your business or organization. As Amelia said, please do call through and they'll be more than happy to assist our telephone advisory team. Look, just to help our Citation HR clients, just to keep you updated of what's going on out there in the legislative world, and getting that information like Amelia has shared. Look, we do have a lot of resources available for you. Look, I like to start off with is that we're actually on LinkedIn. If you type Citation Group AU or NZ, we do post quite regularly there, so hopefully we'll get to see a follow from you. We also have our Citation Group website, so a lot of resources that we post for you to read. Look, if you're not getting our emails, look, make sure you do subscribe. We will put the link on with the recording, and just make sure you put your email in there so we can keep you updated. Look, the cloud, very simple. You'll see pop-ups, or just on the main page under news and resources, you'll be able to see some of the posts there as well. But I guess the most important one is our advisory team. Look, they are there to support you. Look, if this does give you a bit of confidence, look, a lot of the clients I do work with do have a lot of questions around the legislative changes, trying to understand how it actually works. So, our advisory team, big questions or small questions, look, they are there to assist, and we would love to hear from you as much as possible. So they're there for you. They're there to help you implement those changes and give you the reassurance that you need moving forward. Thank you, Amelia, for your presentation. For everyone here, we hope that it was beneficial for you all and that you learned a thing or two, or more importantly, help clarify a couple of questions that you already may have had prior to this webinar. But look, we do have a couple of questions that have come through, which is great. Look, if we don't get to go through them all, please do call through and we'll be more than happy to assist. So just bear with me and I will have a quick look what questions we've got. Okay, this is around hybrid environments. Amelia, so with the rise of hybrid work environments, how can employers like us maintain a strong, I guess, workplace culture for 2025?
Absolutely. That's a really great question and a really prevalent one that I hear all the time on the advisory line when I'm answering calls. I guess maintaining a strong workplace culture in hybrid settings, it requires intentional effort, both employee and employer. It involves a lot of trust. So things like regular virtual team building activities, clear communication, talking about company values and opportunities for people to come in person and engage if they want to. Those things are really crucial. I think it's important that employers also focus on inclusivity and making sure that if you do have remote workers, they're still valued and connected the same as those who are in the office. I guess technology is really the pivotal thing here, and making sure that you do regular check ins and open the feedback loops and transparent communication. That's really what you're aiming for.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Another question here, and you touched on this around well-being. I guess with workplace relations, what role will, I guess, well-being of employees
Mm.
play a part, really?
Absolutely. I guess another great question, and we did touch on it earlier, so that definitely I thought it would spark a few questions from people. Look, I guess well-being is going to remain a central focus for organizations, or it should, in the next year. Kind of beyond physical health benefits, mental and emotional well-being is crucial for fostering engagement, reducing employee turnover, and really just improving productivity. I think you mentioned earlier we've also offer EAP services and psychosocial services as well, which could definitely help in this aspect. And I'd encourage anyone to reach out if they're interested in that. I guess it's expected more companies will offer more comprehensive programs like this to address mental health in the workplace and balance that work life balance. It's also a really good opportunity for you to take some time to train managers and senior staff to kind of recognize signs of burnout or poor mental health so that they can provide that support and compassion to kind of minimize risks moving forward.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Look, this question is going to come from me, and I'm just pretending if I'm in one of the client's shoes here. Look, flexible work seems to be a massive question at the moment. So,
Mm.
I guess what can we expect from an employee point of view when it comes to, I guess, flexible work in
Mm.
2025?
Mm. Absolutely. I guess similar to the other two questions as well, it's very common. And I think it's safe to say that in 2025, well, employees will expect more flexibility around when, where, and how they kind of work. I've seen trends of compressed work weeks, the ability to choose in office and remote work, but also flexible hours to kind of meet personal needs, particularly caring responsibilities and things like that. So I think it's really important that businesses kind of adopt flexible workplace policies because this is going to be an expectation of candidates and things like that. And to remain competitive in the market, it's good to have those processes in place. You also can put together kind of policies and processes for different roles and different employee needs. Everyone's kind of different, and what you need from one role, you may not need from the other. So it's really a good idea to kind of get a balance as to what's required and where we can be flexible.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. So, just to wrap things up, look, there's a lot of information to digest. So, as mentioned, please email our team or give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to assist. So, we're actually going to be waiting for your phone call and hopefully some questions on the back of this webinar. But look, more importantly, again, Amelia, thank you for your time. Everyone here on this webinar, as well as spending over half an hour of your time listening to us. As mentioned, you'll get the recording of this webinar very, very soon. So till then, look, enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, we're looking forward to hearing from you soon.